Morning, Saints. Yo, these guys are funny, hey? So I'm standing in for Mr. Mukumi because he's not here. So my name is Tebatjo Mokgokong. So Mruti asked me to talk about the things that I just spoke about the other day. So on June 16, we had a career day at the nearest, high school that we live next to. So that's what I'm going to talk about. It's all career, whatever, related. So I'm a chartered accountant by profession, so that's what I was going there to try and get them to study, because there's only 7,500 CAs that look like me in the whole of South Africa. So it's a problem, because it's a problem. Those are very small numbers. So my journey as a chartered accountant, I don't even know where it started, because I grew up in rural Limpopo. We had no electricity. I was lucky my mother was a teacher by the age of 70, so at least she could, afford to buy us peanut butter. And in my whole village, there were not a lot of people that could afford, but I was raised not to recognize that I was different. So, I related to everybody. So when I grew up, I remember I was telling Sergio the other day that I grew up, and my mother enrolled me in school in Tebatjo for Saturday lessons. I was doing mathematics and English. I was below the age of 10. I used to travel Kajiban. I don't know if you all know Kajiban. Yeah. Because our roads were not hard, so I would go there every Saturday. I would go there screaming and kicking and crying, because first of all, I was a very shy child, and secondly, I did not like the fact that I got the Kijabas. So when I get there, I'm the only one that speaks my language. Nobody else speaks the way I spoke. I hated that. I always cried. I always came home thinking, I don't want to do this. But when I will go to my normal school during the week, then the English teacher would be like, Tebatjo, can tell us something in English. I was like, so all of that helped me, because I could have been closed up and not, been pushed. I thank my mom for pushing me. So anyways, then I finished my trick, and I wanted to be an accountant, because I did commercial subjects. So I didn't know that universities mattered. There are those that are what do you call it? Yeah, there are those that can give you the CA route, and then there are those that cannot give you the CA route. So, but anyways, I went to a Pretoria Technicon. Now it's TUT, right? Yeah. And I did a course, Cost and Management Accounting. In my third year that I realized that I'm not going to be a CA by the end of this thing. Because first of all, I need a degree. Second of all, but I also had siblings, so I was not sure if my mom would be able to afford me going forward. And this is the beginning of my testimony, because what happened was just all God. I don't even know how, and I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know how I qualified as a CA. Mudimu just came in and just intervened. So then there were people from Abasa, it's called Advancement of Black Accountants in South Africa. They came to the institution on a Saturday or maybe a Friday, but I was tired, I was sleeping. My friend heard about it, and she came to me, she said, listen, you need to call these people. They're talking about people that can look like you, that think like you and stuff. So I called this person. Luckily, he was also a guy from Nebo, where I come from. So we spoke, and I was like, what do you guys want? Now I just want to be an accountant, and I now realize there's so many differences. And my personality is I want to do everything to the max. That's my personality. And I just said to him, listen, I'm here and I cannot end up like this. I need to do something better. So he said, send me your result. Obviously, then I ended up qualifying. But the story started where I went to UJ, at the time it was called Grand Afrikaans University. I'm obviously not You know, I've been qualified for over 10 years now. So, yeah, so you can imagine I went to Rao, okay? So then I kept there, and for the first time I had to study to understand. My goodness, that was painful, okay? And I remember the guy on the 16th of June when I was talking, I had a colleague, a guy who also qualified as a CA. And this guy said to the children, I don't want to lie, this thing is painful. And I was just like, wow, this guy is, you know, for the first time somebody is actually telling the truth. So I was someone who did not really have to study hard, I thought, until I started, you know, pursuing being a chartered accountant. So then all of a sudden, you know, people actually are packing in the library. I had to be there 12 hours a day. I'm obviously, you know, not the most brightest of people. I have to work for what I want, you know. Yeah, it just so happened that even with my diploma, I was accepted to do the bridging to the honors, which is not something that happens. And so that's why I'm saying my testimony really starts there. So then I did this, and then the one thing that I really want to encourage anybody is that when people give you their time, please take it seriously. Because after I finished my Rao journey, I had to go into, obviously, work. And for the first time, I had to speak English in a professional way. That was difficult, okay? I went through, so there's two ways. You can go and work at a bank and get paid a little higher than me, who chose to go work for an audit firm. I worked for Deloitte for 3 years, 36 months, okay? My bosses, who were white people, took their time to teach me. I was the most difficult person to teach, because I go to a client, I have to get what I want out of this client. I mean, my first client was an Afrikaans client in Vereeniging. I didn't have a car, so my senior, who was an Indian guy, had to come to my place and pick me up and drop me. And I just was like, wow. I did not imagine my life to go the way that it went, because I wouldn't imagine anybody will have time for me. And I'm forever grateful for those people who actually took time to teach me the things I know now. Anytime I talk about who I am, I cannot relate to who I was before my training, because it was personal, it was financial, it was emotional, it was everything. I mean, I had a lot of medical issues. I had acne because of the stress that how it affected me. So sorry, my daughter is crying, so I'm just distracted. So all I'm saying is that even when I wrote that board exam and I passed, I don't know how, because you have to you write four subjects the whole day. You take a break, you come back, you have to continue. And I remember thinking, there was one subject, financial management, I never passed it since I came to RAM, okay? Because suddenly it was just difficult. And I knew that I did not pass it, but when that email came, and I remember I was sleeping and I wanted to die that day, because I don't like the results day. It's just, I don't like the results day. So I came from work, they had a party at Deloitte, and I thought, no, I can't party, I need to go home. I got home, I ate pap, I put on my electric blanket, it was very hot, I slept good. I was like, if I survived this, that was my way of committing suicide. If I'm going to survive the heat in this electric blanket and the pap, then I must have passed. Honestly, guys. So what I'm saying is, I wouldn't have known. Okay, so as a business person today, I learned to go back to the basics. I passed because I had to be humbled and go back to the basics. The basics passed me, okay? Because when I wrote that financial management, I knew I was not going to convince the marker. But I was sitting there with everybody. I had to make the best of that time. I wasn't going to spend the whole day hungry and all and not, do anything. So I went back to the basics and God saw me through, okay? And I'm forever grateful for that. But today what I do is, I'm a tech specialist at Mercedes-Benz. I have a hustle. People say I like money, but what's the point of being a CA if you're not going to like money? So I do people's taxes, and everybody who comes from church, who comes to me and asks for my help, I do their taxes for free, okay? Provided they pay something to church. So this is the tax season has opened. I encourage you. I'm very professional, by the way. I don't even tell Muruti my client about she doesn't know. None of my friends in church know. Okay, my husband obviously has to know who I'm talking to. But I signed a code of conduct over a decade ago, and I qualified that my clients' information is confidential, and that's how I deal. Right now, all I do is I wake up and I want to help. I'm convicted about, our people as Black people. I want us to get into business and know what to do and pay the dues and give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. And please, man, let's just do the right thing, do the basics. And if you ever want to talk anything business, talk to me, okay? I think that my journey right now is having to do everything that I do, because I also do books for a lot of other, institutions for free. But my challenge is now I have children, then I'm married. Hey, time is just, and I also need to study, by the way. Prof will be my witness. I tried masters in tax, I quit. But maybe it wasn't the right time, because when I met my husband, he said to me, you have to give me a plan in the next 5 years, because I cannot sit around with someone like you who can be a PhD candidate and, keep faffing around like, you don't have the brains. So I have spoken to my boss already. Next year I'm doing MBA. And the sky is the limit. But the point of the matter is, believe in yourself as a young person. I had a dream when I was small. I was standing on a pulpit and I said to God, hell no, I'm not going to be a pastor. Show me what else I can do on the stage, because a pastor is out and this is my stage. Amen.